Hello and welcome again to Fox Comics and Games in beautiful downtown Marion, Illinois. And we are unpacking this week's comic book order for the week of May 9th. They will go on sale Wednesday, May 9th. And you are looking at a Greg Capullo designer series Batman statue. Several of these showed up this week. There's only 5,000 of them in the world, so get one while you can. They are pretty sassy. First up, we have from Aftershock Comics, issue 5 of Backways. And then next up, from Image Comics, we have one of the titles that was previewed in Free Comic Book Day. It is Barrier, issue number 1. And then we have Barrier issue number 1 Collector's Edition for a variant. And then on to DC. We have issue 22 of Batgirl and the Birds of Prey. That's issue 22 of that one. And you can see the beautiful variant covers that DC is doing right now. They are essentially virgin covers. They have a little bit of writing on the bottom, but very nicely done. But that's the Batgirl and the Birds of Prey variant. Then next up, also from DC, we have Batman the White Knight. And that is issue 8 of 8. So that completes that series. So those of you who've been waiting anxiously for that, there you go. You can now start reading it because it is complete. Next up from Dark Horse, featuring the artwork of Mike Mignola, or the story of by Mike Mignola, BPRD, The Devil You Know. And then next up from Marvel, we have kind of a historic number for Deadpool. We have issue 300 of Despicable Deadpool, and they have a specialty wraparound cover variant. We have several of those as well. Then from DC, we have Batman Detective Comics issue 980, and gorgeous cover on the variant for that. That is issue 980 of the variant cover. Next up from Image, we have Dissonance issue 3 with a great cover on that one as well. And from Marvel, we have issue 2 of Domino, and she seems to be packing a gun or two, or she's sitting in the Iron Throne. One or the other. You have to make up your own mind. Also from Marvel, we have issue 3 of Exiles. A lot of people have been waiting for that one patiently. DC is up next with issue 46 of The Flash. And then a gorgeous variant cover of The Flash. We actually awarded that one Cover of the Week. And so that is our Cover of the Week, is the virgin cover of Flash. Then next up from Dynamite Publishing, we have Game of Thrones Clash of Kings, and that is issue 10 for those of you who are reading that. Then from DC, we have Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps issue 44. And our runner-up in the best cover of the week was this beauty. Again, DC kicking tail on their variant covers the last month or two. Really doing a great job. Next up from IDW, and I know Mr. Fox doesn't push a lot of IDW, but I can't say enough good things about this book. This is a book called Highest House. The artwork is phenomenal. The story has been very good. It's bigger than the average comic, which kind of ticks you off when you're trying to find a place to put it. But I will tell you, it's worth it. The book has just been really solid. And I've been pleasantly surprised. Sometimes you get that stuff and it's just a bucket of awful, and not so with that. Then next up, from Burger Books, an imprint of Dark Horse, we have Anthony Bourdain, issue 4 of Hungry Ghosts. And that is Anthony Bourdain, the guy that does the cooking shows. That's his story on Hungry Ghosts. Then next up from Marvel, the highly anticipated Hunt for Wolverine, the Adamantium Agenda. And that's pretty cool. Next up from DC, we have The Immortal Men, issue 2. looks pretty wicked. Next up from Marvel, we have The Incredible Hulk, issue 716. And then next up from Image Publishing, we have issue 2 of Isola. Highly anticipated. A lot of people reading that here at Fox's, and I don't blame them. It's a great story. Next up from DC, very highly anticipated, Scott Snyder's Justice League No Justice. And we have some blank cover variants for that, for those who are so inclined. If you are coming to a show where local artists are signing, it's a good way to get them to draw something for you, is on one of those. Next up, also from Image, is issue 6 of Maestros, or Maestros, I think Maestros. Also from Image Publishing, issue 1 of Medieval Spawn and Witchblade. And I'm guessing that's fairly self-explanatory, but looks pretty interesting nonetheless. Then next up from Marvel, we have issue 705 of The Mighty Thor. And then also from Image, beautiful artwork, issue 16 of Monstrous. And then from Marvel, we have issue 3 of The New Mutants. And from DC, we have issue 23 of New Superman. And for those of you reading Robert Kirkman's new Image release Oblivion Song, you'll be excited to know that issue 3 hits the store tomorrow. And that's what that looks like. Next up from Marvel is issue 39 of Old Man Logan. I think they're about ready to begin on Old Man Fox, but that's another comic for another day. Then from Image, we have issue 35 of Outcasts. Again, a Robert Kirkman idea. Marvel brings us issue 304 of Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man. And then from Image Publishing, we have issue 5 of Port of Earth, written by Zach Kaplan. He did Eclipse and some other titles for them, usually very solid. Then up from Dynamite Publishing, we have issue 3 of Cullen Bunn's Pumpkinhead. Very stylistic. One of the covers that was up for Best Cover of the Week was issue 22 from DC of Red Hood and the Outlaws. That is a great penguin standing over Red Hood, we thought. And this is the variant cover for that. Also just wicked cool. Next up, we have issue 9 of Robotech from Titan Comics. And then from Image Publishing, we have issue 11 of Rose, Meredith Finch's tale, and it's very, very good. Marvel brings us issue 9 of Runaways. Also comes out tomorrow. As does DC Comics Scooby Apocalypse. And that is what you think it is. That's a reimagining of the Scooby-Doo universe from Hanna-Barbera. Next up from DC, we have issue 4 of Sideways. And then from Marvel, we have issue 32 of Spider-Man vs. Deadpool. And that's kind of a great cover with the Thing holding both of them in his hand. Next up, Mr. Fox's vote for cover of the week, but I was alone, so I got outvoted, was issue 80 of SpongeBob SquarePants. I thought that was kind of neat, but I was outvoted. Next up from IDW, kind of following up on their Broken Mirror series, they have Through the Mirror, and that is issue 2. Nice cover there with Data on the front. And then, speaking of Star Trek, we have Marvel's Star Wars, issue 16. I think Spock's in this, if I remember correctly. And then also from Marvel, we have issue 1 of Star Wars, The Last Jedi. And then also from Marvel, we have Star Wars, issue 4 of Star Wars Thrawn. And then from DC, we have issue 41 of Suicide Squad. And then again, one of their beautiful near virgin covers. That's the variant for Suicide Squad issue 41. Marvel True Believers issue 1 of Carol Danvers. Obviously with kind of some renewed interest, we thought it would be best for the store to bring in some of these. Those of you who've never read Carol Danvers or want to get caught up, there's issue 1 from back in the day, and it's only $1 a cover if I remember correctly. Yes, it is. So you get that issue for $1. That's pretty hard to beat. Then next up from Marvel, issue 1 of Venom. And that is a pretty cool looking cover on that. DC brings us Wildstorm Michael Cray, issue 7. Very popular here in the store. As is, and should be, DC's Wonder Woman, who bring us issue 46 tomorrow. And as we want to do, there's the beautiful Wonder Woman variant cover. Very, very nicely done. Then from Boom Studios, we have issue 17 of WWE. And then from Marvel, we have issue 27 of X-Men Blue. And then next up from Dynamite Publishing, we have Xena, the Warrior Princess, issue 4. And do we carry variants of that? Yes, we do. That's what the variants look like. And then kind of a neat new idea from Marvel, and this is the second issue of it, is You Are Deadpool. And that's kind of a neat idea. I'd invite you in to have a look at that comic. It's kind of a neat concept behind it. And last but not least, we'll end with an Image title this week. Issue 11 of Young Blood is out this week. We would also let you know that there's some Harry Potter Quidditch pins in, and a lot of new trade paperbacks and graphic novels have restocked. So if you get a chance, come in and see us tomorrow, May 9th at Fox Comics and Games, beautiful downtown Marion, Illinois. Thanks.